Hi guys, and welcome back to another Girl Talk video. Today, this video is a little bit different because I today will be explaining my connection with a guy named Soapvr. But further ado, let's just go ahead and get straight into it. Well, this is how Soapvr ruined my life. But start off, we're gonna start how I met him first. So, how I met Soapvr is whenever I was playing Gorilla Tag as usual. But this was whenever, I had my party hat and my blue drill shirt on. I didn't know much about the game and I didn't play it as much. So the thing is that actually whenever I was in one of the forest lobbies, a guy by the name of Soapvr asked me if I wanted to play minigames with him. And of course I said yes, because I was the type of person to basically say that. So afterwards, we were basically playing minigames. The type of minigames it was crates, since crates is actually my favorite minigame. And soon after we were done playing minigames, he asked me if we could basically be friends in Gorilla Tag. And of course I said yes, because, we played for a while, but yeah, we played for a while, and yeah. I friended him afterwards, so after we friended each other, I had to get off, so I decided to get off. And the next day, whenever I myself got back on, I saw that I had over 100 shiny rocks, and I was actually overjoyed. So then, whenever I was overjoyed, I actually kind of liked having 100 shiny rocks. Not 100, I mean 1,000. So then, soon after, I decided to change out my fit. Now, I realized that the top hat was actually the most famous cosmetic in the community. So then I decided to buy it. Afterwards, I bought it, and then I, asked my mom if I could get VIM. She said yes. So then I bought VIM, but it was only $4. So soon after, whenever I bought VIM, I suddenly realized something. Why don't I make my own fit? Because, the little VIM jacket's free anyway. And the VIM badge is also free, so then I decided to make a fit of that. So then I'd use the same yellow color code because I thought it would fit good for me. Then I got the top hat on, and then I also suddenly used, the VIM jacket and the VIM badge. And this was my new fit. And I was thinking about keeping this fit or changing it, whatever. But I really like this fit because I like the way it looked and I like how my style is. So soon after, I basically saw Soapvr was online in a private server and he was in Monkey Blocks. So then I joined him and I said, "Soapvr, are you in here?" And he called out to Monkey Blocks. He was in here. Soon after, I came there and I showed him my new fit, and he said it was cool. And I felt proud of myself for making a goodest fit. But then, soon after the next day, he got a little bit distant. I myself didn't think much about it. So then, yeah, I just let him alone. Because I didn't think much about it. I was very stubborn. So then he told me that he has some family issues and stuff. So I was like, okay, I completely understand with that. So then, I let it go. Then, the next day he finally came towards me. And, he was even more kinder than usual. He gave me an own entire keychain of his Gorilla Tag thing. So then I was actually happy because we were friends and I liked the keychain very much. So then, I hugged him because I liked it. And then I felt his body was, pretty much stiff, and I don't know why, but I didn't mind it. So after all of that, basically something, weird happened. And what I mean by weird is like kind of, bad. So the next day, whenever he gave me that keychain yesterday, he suddenly said that he needs it back. So then I gave it back. And the next day he said that he's gonna give it back to me, then he gave it back to me. And it was completely normal. Like there was nothing wrong with it. It was the same thing. And I actually didn't notice. It had like a little red dot on it. I didn't see that, but we'll explain the red dot later in the video. But anyways, here's the thing though. Whenever he gave it back to me, I was just wondering why. So then I asked him, hey, why'd you give it back to me? And he said, oh, I don't know. Well, the thing is, that wasn't just a great excuse, but I let it go. Then, maybe, I think a week later, he became even more distant than usual. And after that, I asked him, hey, why are you so distant? And he said, it's because of family issues. Then he suddenly switched up his mind, but then the next day, whenever I asked him, he said that it was, but the only reason why he was so distant to me is because he was with his friends. Even though yesterday he said that he had family issues, and now he's saying he was at his friends. Now I told him that he literally just said yesterday he had family problems and issues. So then he all got defensive and said, "Oh, maybe all that." And afterwards, something happened. But before, whenever we met, I asked him, does he have any siblings? And he said no. But I'll be explain why I even asked that question. And I'll explain why I asked that question later in the video. But whenever, we were just playing and chilling around, soon after, something kind of happened. So I was, playing with the the keychain he gave me of himself, and I saw the red dot. So I didn't think much of it until I saw a camera inside. Now, I took out the camera because I didn't know why he even gave me this in the first place and why there was a camera in there. So then I told him about it, and he just said, oh, well, I don't know, maybe, my sister placed a camera in it. Now, here's the thing though. Whenever we first met, I asked him if he had any siblings. He said no, and he was positive that I didn't have any. Now he's just saying that he had a sister. This is kind of, getting very confusing. So then I told him, but you just said you didn't have any siblings, and then he said, oh, well, I don't know then. So I got a little suspicious. Then soon after, the next day, we decided to go to the park. After we went to the park, suddenly he actually said that I was the one getting distant with him, and he said that I was the one getting distant with him, and I said, no, I'm not the one getting distant. So then, soon after, we started fighting, and it's because of a stupid reason. We only started fighting because he said I was getting distant even though he was. So then me and, Soapvr started fighting. Afterwards, he grabbed the keychain that he gave himself out of my hand and he tore it apart. And then soon after, he finally revealed his intentions. He said that he was only using me to break my feelings because he was tired of seeing me all happy and joyful. So then he only used me to maybe have trust issues and for that way he can break my heart. I myself was very devastated. And myself, I don't know what to do because I felt like I couldn't do anything about it. And I just, ignored him. And I blocked him because we became friends on Meta. So then, I decided to unfriend him on both Gorilla Tag and both Meta. And afterwards, suddenly something happened. I checked on Reddit. And I checked on Reddit because I was bored and I wanted to look up something. But whenever I looked up something, I looked up, ideas, like drawing ideas and all that kind of stuff. So then but then I got curious. So then I said, I got curious of searching up my name, my YouTube channel name, on Reddit. So then I searched up TLT Banana Man. Nothing showed up. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna search up Banana Man TLT since, that's my, second username on my channel. So I searched up Banana Man TLT and I found something actually disturbing. What I didn't know is that Soapvr never told me he had a Reddit. So then I saw that he actually made R36 and Heat of Me. And I also saw that he also made heat of another, and I also saw that he made heat with another person that was also in that picture. And it's really weird because in that photo, there was another person, and I didn't know who it was at first. So then, I just kind of got bored. Not bored in my bed, but I got curious. So then I tried to look closer, and I tried to find out who that was, and I tried to see if they were my friend or not, but I couldn't really figure out who it is because he crossed out their face. So then I reached out to Soap and I said, Soapvr, why would you do this? This is very disgusting. Now, I don't have pictures of it because I am just a coward and I don't like taking pictures of stuff sometimes. So then he was like, because it's all your fault. I was only using you to break your feelings and make you have trust issues. And after he said that, I just, get off my phone and started crying. And why I never told anyone about why, I had Soap VR. Like, nobody even knew about Soap VR. And why I never told anyone was because he told me to keep it a secret. I didn't think much of it because I was thinking, oh, well, why? And then he said privacy reasons, because, some people might get jealous, but I wondered, people might not get jealous. But I said, okay. So then, yeah, after all that happened, I was very devastated. And he also sexualized my Gorilla Tag character, which you can see in the background. He sexualized that. And what I mean by sexualized is that he put a whole entire bunny suit and a bikini on it. And I was actually so weirded out because the fact is that my Gorilla Tag character is actually a boy. And I was so weirded out. And he also harassed me. And I just hate it. I regret being ever his friend. But hey, this is the end of the video, so if you, enjoyed me yapping about all this and that, just remember to maybe like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.